So hi everyone, welcome to the GoldFish Report. I'm your host, Louisa. Hi William, nice to see you. Nice to see everybody in the chat. I decided to go live tonight. I may do this every Friday night to do POTUS reports, to review the previous week. Yes, Christ consciousness to all. That's so nice. Yeah, thank you, William. Thank you for that super chat. Oh, we need it so badly, folks. We really need to help, support the channel big time. I am going to do the POTUS report tonight, and I don't know how everybody feels. I'd like to have your feedback. That's why I wanted to go live. I wanted to get the feedback from viewers on what you think about this impeachment trial. So I'm going to start moving along, and I'm going to start with a video that Q posted. And I think I think people are gonna like this a lot. And I'm going to screen share that. And I think you'll like getting started for our POTUS report this week. Let me do that.
The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first. Every decision will be made to benefit American workers and American families. America will start winning again, winning like never before. I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down. Do not allow anyone to tell you that it cannot be done. No challenge can match the heart and fight and spirit of America. We will not fail. Our country will thrive and prosper again. Your voice, your hopes, and your dreams will define our American destiny. When America is united, America is totally unstoppable.
So I thought I would start with that because that was a video that Q had posted, and it was also in the report that I'm going to be including right now. We're going to start with the 20th. This is the president's, and how I'm going to tell you folks, there's some very, very, very long transcripts here, and I'm not going to go through all of it. Look at this, look how long I have to scroll on this one. I have to just make sure we have, let me see. This is huge. Look at this transcript. So I'm not going to talk about the whole thing. This is from the 20th. This is the president's remarks to the American Farm Bureau Federation annual convention and trade show. I'm going to highlight just some of the things that came out of this because he's talking about making deals that include our farmers, that are good for America, that bring in jobs. It's not only agriculture, but it has to do with also infrastructure, bridge building, all kinds of things like that. But of course, the president is talking about the economy. He's talking about the unemployment. And let me just go over, I have to just scroll back down again. Talking about trade. I mean, this is a very serious president. He's very serious about building up the United States again and bringing business back, where all the other previous administrations sent jobs overseas with NAFTA, which is why it was failed. The president signed and Congress signed into law the USMCA trade deal and also these trade deals with China first. He's really accomplishing great things for the United States, finally, for the people. And, if you want to criticize the president, put something, put your facts, cite your facts of what you want to criticize the president. I'm highlighting his accomplishments because it's good for the United States. So let's just talk about, he's talking about fixing the problems. Exactly. I mean, we've been selling out the United States. We've had Congress. We've had all kinds of people taking, pay for play, selling out the United States, traders really, of course. And we were selling products and not getting tariffs on it in the past, but everybody was collecting tariffs from us. They took advantage of the United States, and the president knows that. The president has acted on this, and the president's saying, I want an even playing field here. And that's why finally, they're a little bit upset with Trump, because they all got away with it. They all took advantage of the traitors who were running the country before. Okay, so Trump is trying to, as the CEO that he is, he's trying to, run a tight ship, and that's what he's doing. So China stole trade secrets from the American agriculture and plundered our intellectual property, illicitly subsidized grain product procedures, and installed one barrier after another to block out our farmers and to block out our ranchers. So they're changing that stuff. There's lots of good things for farmers. We have to get rid of the GMOs, in my opinion. I think there's no studies done to show that they are safe for humans, so we shouldn't be eating them unless we know that they're safe. So this is a lot. I'm not going to go into all of it, though. You can go to the blog at the goldfishreport.blogspot.com, and you can check out this very, very long transcript. But again, here we persuaded Japan to slash tariffs on $7 billion of U.S. agriculture, as I just stated. Nobody thought it was possible. In any case, it will be completely duty-free, and you've never heard that before. So that's a $40 billion deal. So he's doing great work for the United States, making sure that the commerce and the trade keeps going. And eventually this is going to this is going to set the basis for a new global currency reset, for a new U.S. Treasury note to be introduced, which I think is forthcoming. Here we go. Let's talk about, okay, so tax cuts, trade reforms, regulatory reductions, things like that. Since his election, the United States has gained more than 7 million jobs. This is the part that I wanted to talk about. The unemployment rate is now 3.5%. This is the lowest. Here we go. It's on the back. Okay. 3.5% unemployment. It's the lowest record for African Americans, Hispanic, Asian Americans, record lows for unemployments, even for veterans and disabled Americans, record low unemployment. Women, there's more women in the workforce now. I have issue with that a little bit, because I still feel that there needs to be, a nurturing of the children at home. Call me traditional, and conservative, and that's who I am. So that's what I believe. I think there has to be a good, healthy balance for women. And let's not forget women who end up, divorced and have to somehow become single mothers and end up having to struggle between, trying to provide childcare as a single parent, let alone as a family. So that is the weakest link in our economy right now, is trying to help people who come from divorced families. Those are the ones that are going to struggle the most, because they're going to be the most vulnerable, because women do make sacrifices that men don't make when it comes to child rearing and interrupting careers, and especially when you both share the values of staying home with the family and taking care of the family, if you can afford to do that. But again, also, young Americans entering the workforce. According to the president, 2 million millennials have gotten jobs and are getting 5% increases every year. So that's really great. So it's great that millennials are getting a job. Yay! They can move out. Real median household incomes is at the highest level ever recorded. And, just great stuff, folks. So please go to the blog and take a look. I just need to go check on everybody who... Just take a look at this. This is the new logo for our United States Space Force, Department of the Air Force. This is it. I have a feeling this is the Pleiades over here. And this might actually be the Andromeda constellation. I don't know. It could be Boots, or maybe, now is it Orion? Maybe that's the Orion belt there, and this is... it's kind of funny. You got to look at those details. You think it's just, random? No, I don't think it's random. But what concerns me is this triangle. Is this like another, lizard, tongue kind of thing? Like NASA has. It's like that forked tongue. I don't know, folks. I don't know. But it's nice colors. I think it's good. Whatever. There's the star. Is that our sun? That's our sun, right? So very lovely, right? You like that? What does everybody think about that? You guys like that new logo? Barbara, little sister, yeah. You guys are great. Do you guys like that logo? Yeah? Hey, look, the president's accomplishing things. Okay, so you have the president here, 3 years fighting for you. This is the video I just played for you. So that's the video. Americans are sick of the swamp, and there's no question. We are sick of it. We are tired of it. We are done with all the corruption. We're done with the two-tiered judicial system, the fake judicial system, in fact, because it's not even based in law. It's we're a corporation, so each of us are, and we're under admiralty law, so we're under law of the sea. We're not under law of the land. It's all been hijacked. It's all screwed up. It really is. But here, this is what the president said: over 7 million jobs, unemployment, all of this stuff. Go to the blog, check this out. Desperate Democrats are demanding a do-over. Adam Schiff, House Democrats didn't make their case. If you're going to impeach, you have to have high crimes and misdemeanors. You have to have laws broken, and there were none at all. And this week, Rudy Giuliani has announced that he's going to start, over the next few weeks, he's going to start releasing, information to show what all these dealings, who was involved in Ukraine and who was getting paid and all of this. There's emails, there's all kinds of evidence. He's going to start releasing it. So get ready. There's lots of stuff going on. So not a single witness has provided evidence to support his assertion, because there is none. There's no evidence. The whole thing is a hoax. But this is how the legal system can literally team up against you. You can use the forces of government and abuse that power to abuse citizens. And they do it. They're doing it to the president right now. And they've done it to us. They've done it to me. 8 years I've been in this litigation against the deep state elements in the judiciary. Okay? Here we have the president, beautiful picture. Marine One flies through the Swiss Alps en route to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland, which I'm going to report on briefly. We have a proclamation by the president on National Sanctity of Human Life Day, which is a wonderful proclamation. Every person, the born and unborn, the poor, the downcast, the disabled, the infirm, and the elderly, has inherent value. Although each journey is different, no life is without worth or is inconsequential. The rights of all people must be defended. On National Sanctity of Human Life Day, our nation proudly and strongly reaffirms our commitment to protect the precious gift of life at every stage, from conception to natural death. I do have a clip of the president, actually, that I'll screen share right here, talking at the March for Life today. So let me just play a little bit of this for everybody. I'm sorry I'm not seeing you guys right now in the chat, because I've got too many things open on the computer, but I will come back to the chat in just a minute.
And Representatives Steve Scalise, Chris Smith, Ralph Abraham, Warren Davidson, Bob Latta,
a little too much.
John Joyce, Lloyd Smucker.
Sorry, I did have it queued. It just seems to be seems to be having a live stream. Yeah, sorry about that. Something happened and I where'd it go? Interesting. Shouldn't be playing there.
Together we must protect, cherish, and defend the dignity and the sanctity of every human life.
That's weird. Oh my God, what happened? All right, folks, I have to remove that. Did I lose my live stream? I hope not. Okay, it says I'm still live. I just had a major internet interruption, but there was the president talking today, the March for Life, and it was really nice to hear him talk about that. So let me move along to the next topic of, there's more to that proclamation. You can go there and take a look at it. Let me just go back to my live chat. Are you guys still there? Everybody still in live chat? Yeah, propaganda is legal, and that's because of the Smith-Mundt Act was repealed by President Obama in 2012. The Smith-Mundt Act was a law that banned the government using propaganda against its citizens, but they overturned it. Obama overturned it in 2012. So that's what happened there. Okay, so the president was, as you know, at the World Economic Forum this week in Davos, Switzerland. There were lots of, he was having bilateral meetings with a lot of world leaders. There was Prime Minister Khan of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. They're specifically looking forward to, let me see if this was, again, I apologize for scrolling, but let me see. Yeah. They're interested in the president playing a role in creating peace over there between them and Pakistan, and of course between Pakistan and Afghanistan. They're trying to help Afghanistan with a peaceful transition, working with the Taliban leaders there to create a peaceful transition. The peace is the prize. That's what this president's about. Peace is the prize, and these deals need to be a win-win for everybody, and he's trying to do that. He's trying to bring economic stability to everybody, and when you have these really good trade deals, then everyone's currency is more on an equal playing field, and then when everyone's currency is on an equal playing field, then there'll be much more trade between countries, and countries that are more impoverished will be able to be more prosperous, and that's how it works. I'm not an expert on economics, but I follow the president's policy and Larry Kudlow's Schumpeterian economic philosophy. So that's where that comes from. So they're looking for the president to play a role, I guess some kind of intermediary role to help resolve those issues, especially in Kashmir with India, as well as the issues with Afghanistan. Okay. The trade deals are huge. He's making deals all over the world, folks. He's bringing people together. This is just the most amazing thing. Of course, we signed the USMCA deal. We've got Mexico, Canada. That's a massive numbers we're talking about. Deals with Japan, $40 billion that deal with agriculture there. South Korea, tremendous deal as well. Well, they turned it into something good. So at Davos, they're meeting with world leaders. And some of the people who he's meeting with, and let me just scroll down this very quickly. Yeah, because I want to get through this. Some of the key people, he's meeting with many key corporations. Look how long this transcript is. This is why I'm like, you just got to go to the blog. Okay, so then I'll just go to the next one. Very huge. So the president was meeting, he really called this a blue collar boom. That's what he called this. What's going on, how great the economy is doing in many different ways. Yeah, thanks, Jammer Greg. Appreciate it. So the president met with the president Samaruga, the Swiss Confederation. I didn't know anybody. They called themselves and referred to themselves as the Swiss Confederation. They had bilateral relations with them. They're concerned about including, good, I would say, diplomatic relations, including offices in the United States, economic ties. They're concerned, they had bilateral talks about that and about the environment. And, global warming was one of their issues. And I just don't think that, I don't think the president, believes in global warming because, these are just natural cycles and we're not having an impact on the earth in that way. Maybe in other ways, but I don't think the president agrees with that. In Davos, Switzerland, the president met with heads of major corporations that they're doing huge deals with, including Novartis, Nokia. Nokia also has the Nokia Bell Labs in New Jersey. Who knew that they took that over, right? But, Sony, QIA, Ericsson. Ericsson is got the 5G, and I don't know, folks. Chalk sounds like a chocolate dessert from Switzerland, right? Sherry, you're funny. Eric's, 5G is a big issue, and I have to tell you that GoldFish Report is going to be doing a special live stream with Miles Johnston from the Basis Project coming up in the next week or two. We're going to be talking about 5G in depth, and there's a lot to be concerned about. Hi, William Hanna. Thank you so much. Oh, thanks. Something from Judge is nothing for an impossible YouTube platform. As long as we're here, we're going to keep doing what we can. Thanks for that super chat. I appreciate it. 555. And 555 represents the change. It represents the change for power to the people. That's what it represents. There's also, so we're going to talk about 5G because it's a huge issue. Miles Johnson is an engineer, so he has a lot of, very specific information about, as an engineer point of view, how to talk, to talk about 5G. He's very concerned about it and does things, is very proactive in terms of protecting himself from microwave frequencies. Temesk International, which is owned by Singapore government, Kuwait Investment Authority, their wealth fund, and Royal Dutch Shell. These are examples of the major multi international companies that the president has been meeting with. He's there making deals. He wants to do what's good for America. He wants to do what's good. And you know what? And what's good for the partners who are involved in making the deals. He wants everybody to win. He wants it to be a win-win deal. He is the art of the deal maker. Let's not forget about that. So these are just some of the highlights from Davos, Switzerland, who he met with, and who he was meeting with and making deals with. I'm also going to screen share some other things from this week as well. The president obviously declared a North Dakota national disaster area. So this has to do with flooding and so forth. There's more talks on more bilateral talks here. If you want to go through the details of them, you should just go to the blog, because I just don't have the time to read out everything. We'd be here all night. So you can go there and do that. We'll go down to the West Wing. 5 times Adam Schiff just totally made it up today. This was on the 22nd of January. Democrats have based their whole impeachment sham on the word and judgment of Representative Adam Schiff, who pleaded the left's case for 2.5 hours before the Senate. It wasn't a good idea. This is when I was getting triggered. I mean, you just, like I said, the Schiff doctrine is, when all else fails, lie again. And that's what they're doing. That's just what over and over and over again. And it was imminent. It was so imminent. We had to push this impeachment because it was imminent, and there's no evidence. I mean, it's insanity, folks. It's just absolute insanity. There's no evidence of any wrongdoing. The president did nothing wrong, and they are, they're literally, persecuting him. So it's tough to watch, because even if it's part of the whole plan and deal, it's a roasting, and it's not a comfortable one. It's not easy to do. So here's a little summary of Trump's triumphs at the World Economic Forum while the Democrats pursued baseless impeachment. So again, bigger triumph than anyone could have imagined a year ago. Counter-staging of President Trump with regard to, it's funny because it was a juxtaposition. So here he is making all these great deals, not just for America, but for all of our partners that we're involved with around the world. And back at home, you have the Democrats trying to impeach him, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to take away our ability to make the decision of who we want president next year. They don't want us to determine that. They want to take that right away from us. And that's basically what Rudy Giuliani was saying today. Rudy Giuliani has come out with his own, and I'm going to screen share that for you in just a minute. baseless subpoena, and all kinds of things that are going on. You can go there and take a look at the rest of these. There's a proclamation to further positive adjustment to competition from imports of large residential washers. So subheadings, what is this? Tariffs, washer parts. And he did talk about this. I mean, the president was up there talking about toilets and washing machines and all kinds of, all kinds of things that, you need to, it's part of trade. Everybody's home needs to have bathtubs, sinks, toilets, it's all part of the trade deals. And here you have the president taking action to end birth tourism, to protect national security and curb the abuse of public resources. Exactly. So the administration is taking action to end birth tourism, a practice in which aliens, and I love how they continue to use the word aliens as if they're trying to prepare us for something. Did anybody notice that? I know they usually put illegal aliens, but here they just write aliens as if, they're trying to like maybe, prepare us for something. You know, I just find it interesting. They usually write illegal in front of that to kind of distinguish what kind of alien you're talking about. But here, there's no distinction. Okay, so which aliens travel to the United States with the purpose of giving birth just to gain citizenship for their children? Organizations bring in large numbers of aliens to systematically exploit this loophole and unfairly provide citizenship for their children. Most birth tourism groups charge tens of thousands of dollars, which often doesn't include coverage for medical care. Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, look, residents can't even get medical care. I have no health insurance. I can't walk in and get free health care anywhere. I work, longer hours than most people. And, I don't have health care, so it's like, why should illegals come here and get free health care? No way. Unbelievable. The State Department will stop issuing temporary visitor visas to applicants who are traveling to the United States to engage in birth tourism. The administration's new rule makes clear that attempting to improperly provide citizenship for one child's birth through birth tourism is not a legitimate grounds for obtaining a visitor visa. Visas will be issued to aliens. Again, look how it's distinctive, right? Whose purpose of travel is consistent with permissible business and pleasure activities. Citizens in the crown jewel of the American immigration system and must be vigorously protected from exploitation. And this is protecting national security as well. You can go through this. It's really a big problem because it does tax our system. It exploits our benefit system. And of course, even, many Americans can't afford it themselves. So it's not fair. Here we have a statement from the press secretary regarding the visit of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel. This was put out on January 23rd, so that was yesterday. President Trump will welcome Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel to the White House on January 28th. Benjamin Gatz, Blue and White chairman, has also accepted the president's invitation to come to Washington. The United States and Israel are strong partners. Well, you don't have to tell us that. And Prime Minister's visit is an opportunity to discuss our shared regional and national security interests. Yeah, they're more like bedfellows is what they are. Okay, and so here we have one more. Okay, so this was just another statement regarding the birth tourism visa regulation rule change. You can go here, this rule change. So what's going to happen is this rule change is necessary to enhance public safety, national security, and the integrity of our immigration system. So beginning January 24th, which is today, the State Department will no longer issue temporary visitor B1, B2 visas to aliens seeking to enter the United States for birth tourism. The practice of traveling to the United States to secure automatic and permanent American citizenship for their children by giving birth on American soil. I don't know if they're planning on, having all women, and they're going to have to. And there's going to be people who are going to complain it's discriminatory, but of course only women can give birth, so it can't really be discriminatory. But, what are they going to do? Give every woman who travels to the United States a pregnancy test? They might. I don't know. I have no idea how they're going to do that. So this is, obviously a priority of the administration. I'm going to stop screen sharing for just a minute and check back in with all of our, yeah. So here we have the president's remarks to the nation's mayors on transforming America's communities. You can go here and scroll down and you can take a look at it yourself, because this is, again, a long transcript, and, you know, they're talking about Ben Carson and what he's doing there, and doing a good job, and different mayors around the country talking about lifting up our uh, cities by our booming economy and the jobs again, unemployment again, child tax credit. They doubled the child tax credit, which is great, benefiting 40 million American families. So that's good, lifting 650,000 single mothers and children out of poverty. Well, okay, but still they can't afford lawyers, can they? What is wrong with our civil justice system, folks? What is wrong with our civil justice system that you have to go broke to defend yourself in court? You need to go broke to defend yourself for a divorce. You need to go broke and you need to put a second mortgage on your home just to get justice in the court system. Why does it take 8 years, folks, to get a divorce just to have justice? Why does it take 8 years? Why does anybody have to spend 8 years in the legal system for divorce when you're not even talking about a lot of assets? I mean, come on. We're working people and we're being fleeced. And, you think that people who are just divorcing or complaining, because it's not like that. The system destroys you. It absolutely destroys you in every way. And they don't care. They could care less. They're making money off of it. Just like the whole point of what's playing out in Congress right now is to expose the corruption. Everybody says, oh, yeah, government's corrupt. No, you don't know how corrupt it is. It's more corrupt than you could ever imagine. And this is what the president is exposing. So, I give him a lot of credit for doing that. At his own expense, he's taking the arrows himself, this impeachment and all this. He's taking a lot of abuse and a lot of arrows. But I know he's really a good man, and he's doing this for the benefit of our country, that there's good things coming. And all the naysayers, you can complain all you want. You can, I'm talking about the facts, the things that you can see what the president has done, how he's making deals, how he's going to bring prosperity back to this country. And wait until he's reelected, folks. Wait until he's reelected. What I'm hearing is going to come is really wonderful. Really wonderful things are going to come after the next election, because we're going to be past this point of exposing the corruption, and we're going to be able to move faster with progress. We're going to have these, I suppose he's going to have to wait for the new, look how long these transcripts are. I don't want to read all of this out. We'll wait until the new election, and then we're going to have wonderful things, more wonderful things happening. And, there's a lot of things I can't talk about, so I'm not going to until I'm permitted to talk about it. But, I have a lot of reason for reporting the things that I report. So anyway, bill announcements. President signed into law the Preventing Illegal Radio Abuse Through Enforcement Act, or the Pirate Act, which authorizes enhanced penalties for pirate radio broadcasters and requires the FCC to increase enforcement activities. And then, of course, this is interesting, securing American nonprofit organizations. Excuse me, I need to take a sip of tea. Hold on. Okay. Securing American Nonprofit Organizations Against Terrorism Act of 2019. This is quite interesting, which authorizes within the Department of Homeland Security a nonprofit security grant program to make grants to eligible nonprofit organizations for target hardening and other security enhancements to protect against terrorist attacks. I mean, who knew that there were such, nonprofit organizations that, are for target hardening and other security enhancements? You'd think that would just be a complete commercial entity. you always, we have to use greater scrutiny on all these nonprofit organizations, don't we? Because like the Clinton Foundation, what were they doing? You're going to find out when that, when all these reports and Huber's report and everything comes out. Horowitz already had his report, but we still have to find out. There's still a lot of information that's going to come out after this FISA declass comes out. All of this stuff comes out. We're going to find out all these transnational, well, these were the transnational corporations from Davos, but all of these countries, foreign countries, were paying the Clinton Foundation. They were using it as a foreign agent, not as a 501c3. That's what's going to come out. And then you're going to find out what deals, talk about making deals, but this was selling out America. Here we are talking about the dishonest impeachment case. Today marks the end of the House Democrats' 3-day presentation of their historically weak articles of impeachment against the president. Starting tomorrow, the president will have a chance to respond to Democrats' dishonest case. So that's, this is put out today. I guess they'll be in session tomorrow. This is what it's saying, or do they mean Monday? I'm not quite sure. But what's good to know is that this is the end of the Democrats' 3-day theatrical political theater. Okay, and then now the stage is set. Get ready, because they're going to get ripped apart. And this is where, I think people who are getting tired and getting triggered of watching the Democrats' desperate attempt to avoid prosecution for their crimes, indictments for their crimes. That's what this is about. It's not about the president. He didn't do anything wrong. Schiff lied multiple times that he had seen evidence of collusion between President Trump and Russia. Of course, the Mueller report exposed that as a left-wing hoax, so Schiff just moved on to Ukraine. So Schiff tried to repeatedly mislead the public. All of these things are proven false. So it's all going to come out, folks. Now it's time to get your popcorn. Now you can tune in, because now you're going to see some real prosecution. You're going to watch the attorneys rip apart their case piece by piece. It shouldn't take long, because there was no crime. There's no crime. So you have to acquit him. But what's interesting is, what will happen afterwards? Will this be null and void? Will this be dragged out for the rest of the year so that it interfered with his presidency? Will this be wiped out? Will this overrule the voice of the people? What will happen? We don't know yet. We'll wait and find out. And so here's the president's photo from the annual March for Life gathering today in DC. And here he was. This is the whole transcript of his speech today, so you can come to the blog and take a look at it as well. I think that unborn children have never had a stronger defender in the White House. And the Bible tells us each person is wonderfully made. It's so wonderful. So it's great. It's great to have God back in the country. It's great to have God back, in the White House. And I'm not talking about Donald Trump as God. I just mean he's bringing God and prayer back into the schools. It's okay to do that now. That's really wonderful. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Schiff in the Standard Hotel. Exactly, folks. When is all that going to come out? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Fresh website for Canada. Okay. So let's just see what are the other items that we're going to close up with, because there's so much to talk about, and I can't possibly talk about all of them, because it's just way too much, way too much stuff. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the Q, because this is where, for my POTUS reports, I'm always going to tie Q into what's currently happening, because it really is very telling. Whoever Q is, we don't know. But what we do know is that Q is giving us some background information on what's happening. And we can see it reflect in what the president's doing, because the Q posts coordinate with president's posts. Shot heard around the world. This was about you know, Lexington and Concord, of course, but it was also about what was happening in Virginia. Virginia ended up, you know, having a peaceful assembly of uh, law-abiding gun owners. Not one shot was fired, folks. Peaceful, law-abiding. That's the underscore that word there. Do not infringe. Very clear. Do not infringe. However, they still passed a red flag law despite the fact that there were all those militia people and Americans and patriots there protesting their gun confiscation laws. So again, encroachment of infringement of our constitutional rights. The Great Awakening, the silent war continues, and I wanted to start here because I wanted to, you know, reiterate that that's what's happening here. It's a silent war. That's why we have the need for Q to kind of give us this intel drop to show what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of us know about this already. We've been hearing about it for so long now, since Q came on the scene in 2017, right after the Las Vegas attacks. Actually, some would say maybe just a week before, because they did post in advance. Someone on the Chan board posted in advance that something was going to happen in Las Vegas. And so there were people who had foreknowledge who were posting. Okay. Impeachment scam. Democrats attempt to protect themselves from prosecution. That's what we just said. That's what this is about. And, you know, you have the big five leaders of the Democrat Party right here that Q is posting about. Leverage control dictates how far you rise within the Democrat Party. And then you have Q here posting the speech from President Eisenhower warning us of the military-industrial complex. And if you know anything about the GoldFish Report, if you know about our news page, we're not just doing interviews and reports of our own. We are nearly 24/7 news source. So we are posting all the news all the time on Twitter and on our Facebook news page. So thanks everybody for being here. I'm going to sign off now. Have a really great night, Friday night. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you for joining me. And so to all the viewers who are not on the live stream, this was live. So just so you know, of course you could tell. And we'll be back with more reporting for you. So everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks for your support. And this concludes this edition of the GoldFish Report. Thanks for viewing.